Hey peeps, welcome back to Lex and Big T's extravaganza. Um, as it looks like, I think you guys can tell that I feel like I'm practically ready for bed. My hair is up, the dangy shirt, but whatever. In this video, basically, I'm gonna go over how it feels to be a mother, like the life with a newborn. Let's say that life with a newborn. Um, this video won't be too long. I'm just gonna go over like the basics. The one thing that I know that I want to say, and it's like probably gonna be the first thing I say and the last thing I said, is sleep, 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 sleep. Sleep does not exist for me. It doesn't exist for me. It doesn't exist for his dad. Well, it kind of exists for his dad a little bit more, considering the fact that I breastfeed at night. So the fact that I breastfeed, I have to wake up all the time. When he cries, I gotta wake up, put a titty in his mouth, and burp him, change his diaper, and then go back to sleep. But majority of the time, or sometimes, what I usually do is like I'll have his dad change his diaper first before I feed him. That way I don't have to wake him up after he's done feeding and burping, because he usually falls asleep right after he's done eating. That way I don't have to wake him back up to put him back to sleep. So I'll have his dad change his diaper, and then I'll take him and feed him, and yeah, basically, which is also a good thing, because then I'll wake up his dad and I'll have his dad awake for me, that awake with me, that way I'm not awake by myself and I have some type of entertainment. But usually I wake up Big T and I'll be like, hey, change his diaper, whatever. I'm gonna either, sometimes I'll fix him a bottle. It depends, because when he's breastfeeds, he feeds more often. He feeds like every 30 minutes to an hour. Yes, every 30 minutes to an hour. And that can get exhausting at times. And sometimes I get drained and I start getting hungry, which is, normal. Since he's feeding off of me, I need to be feeding myself so he can feed off of me. So, not to make him sound like an animal or anything. or anything. But yeah, so basically it's no sleep. I'm usually up every hour. Sometimes, he'll be nice and give me 2 or 3 hours. But I'm usually up every hour feeding him, or every 2 hours changing his diaper. Because he pisses a lot, and because he's breastfed, he usually, they poop more often when they're breastfeeding as well. They usually poop like right after feeding. But him, I'll say he poops after like every 2 to 3 feedings. He doesn't poop after every feeding. So yeah. Another thing with being a mom is the fact that I'm a first time mom. It's kind of scary that like I started to think about, like, after he was born, I'm like, yo, like, I'm responsible for a whole nother human being. So then I start to hesitate. Like, before he was born, I used to be like, hey, I'm doing this for him, I'm doing that, I'm not gonna allow this, I'm not gonna allow that. Like, when it comes in regards to like decision making for him, like vaccines, and whether or not we're gonna circumcise him, and things like that, like whether he's gonna be breastfed, formula fed, things that are like in his best interest. So after he came out, I'm sorry guys, after he came out, it became like, I'm like, yo, what is the right decision? What do I choose? How do I know that I'm making the best decision? So questions like that started to like erupt in my head, like, and like I started to become scared. Like, I know one of the biggest decisions that I was really scared about making was the vaccination. When he was at the hospital, they were like, before they even came to him about the whole HPV thing, his dad was like, are you sure, like, you don't want to vaccinate him and stuff, because sometimes it can be a bit scary, and like, what if he gets really sick, and all that stuff. I thought about those things too, and I'm like, yo, like, what if he gets really sick and I don't know what to do, and he catches like a bad flu, or like chicken pox, or something like that, or whatever. But I don't know. But I'm like, you know what, I'm just gonna try to make the best decisions for him. And I'm like, I'm not gonna be scared. I'm just gonna basically do my best. So we did decide. Well, then I came to the conclusion, okay, whatever. Like, I'm not gonna be scared about this. I'm gonna choose what I feel like is best for him, which is not vaccinating him.
Hi guys. Not in the vlog today, but just want to say hi.
Yeah, this guy. But yeah, so basically, just wanted to make sure that I'm making the best decisions for him. Big T, guys. I love that guy. But yeah. Hey, I'm pretty sure most of you guys love the father to your child, or your boyfriend to your husband, or whatever. I don't know, I just felt like that was weird. Or random, but whatever. I love that guy. But yeah. So basically, yeah, so sometimes I feel like I'm making, like, the wrong decisions, and sometimes I double, guess, or, question whether I'm doing the right thing or not. And hopefully I am doing the right thing. I hope I'm not making the wrong decisions. Another thing was circumcision. Now, the thing with circumcision is like, I'm not a religious person, but I was raised in the Seventh day Adventist church. I was raised in Christianity. My mom is like a religious freak and whatever. So I was raised in a church. So there's like a lot of theories and arguments about whether a child should be circumcised or whether that was only for back then or whether it still applies now, blah, 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 blah. Me personally, I wanted to circumcise Makai for hygiene purposes, and like basically it's easier to handle the penis that doesn't have the extra foreskin. His dad, he's a man, so in his head he's like, no, why do we want to put him through that pain? But I feel like as a newborn he won't even remember that he even got circumcised. Like, I feel like this is like the best time to do it because he won't even remember. Versus when he gets older and let's say he catches an infection or something's wrong, or like there's different things that happen with people who have extra foreskins on their penises, and then he has to go through the procedure then where he'll remember the pain, he'll endure it, he has to walk around with it. At this age, the circumcision basically heals after a week. So like he'll go through the pain, but then he won't even remember it. Like he won't, I may have to deal with a little bit of crying and waking up more than often at night and whatever the extra crap. But I'm ready for it. If I have to do that for a week, then no problem. But his dad is like, no, I can't imagine anybody cutting mine this and mine that and blah blah blah. Oh, I feel bad and whatever. Like men stuff. And there's a lot of people that are telling me, oh, how would you feel if somebody came and cut a piece off of your clitoris or your vagina or blah, blah, blah. If I was a baby and I'm a newborn, at this age now, I'm pretty sure I wouldn't have remembered that. Like, I'm older now. Like, if it happened, I probably did get a piece of my clitoris cut off. Who knows? But I don't think so, guys. I'm just kidding. But I'm just saying, like, I don't think it's that big of a deal. But to him, it is. So the fact that, we're not on a mutual agreement on that yet, it's a little bit on hold, but I do want to try to see if we can, come to a mutual agreement about that as soon as possible. And whatever we do come up with, I will let you guys know. So yeah, another thing with a newborn is, trying to figure out what's wrong with him. Now I kind of already, know like, when something's wrong. Not when something's wrong, but I know the different cries or the different ways that he reacts with his body when something's wrong with him. Like, I realize, like, when he has gas or needs to burp, like, he'll like buckle up his body, like, close. I don't know how to explain it, but like he'll like scrunch up into like a little ball and like whatever, and then he just like won't stop crying. Like, he'll do like light crying here and light crying there. Then I'm like, okay, he probably has some gas, and I'll like stretch out his body a little bit and start like patting his back and rubbing his belly and rubbing his back, and try to get some of that gas either to come up or come down, and rotating his legs as well. Another cry I realize is when he's hungry. When he's hungry, he'll cry nonstop. Like, no doubt about it. He'll cry, 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 cry. He won't stop crying. You can pick him up and he won't start crying. One thing about Makai, he doesn't like to be held like in, I guess, I don't know what this is called, lullaby style. I don't know, but he doesn't like to be held like this. He prefers to be held over the shoulder. If you're holding him like this, I give him about 2 minutes before he starts screaming his lungs. So he prefers to be held over his shoulder. So if I'm holding him, like if he's held like this and he's crying, and I put him over my shoulder and he's still crying, then I'm pretty sure it's hungry. And sometimes I'll wash my hand sanitize it, and then put like my little, knuckle here, like next to his mouth, and then once he's like, like he'll open his mouth and like try to like follow it or suck it, and I'm like, okay, he's really hungry. And I'll either fix him up a bottle depending on what time of day it is. I try not to feed him the formula too late because he does get constipated from the formula that I do feed him. And I'm gonna show you guys the formula that I chose to go with. But that's when I know he's really hungry. He'll cry when he has a bad dream in the middle of the night, and those are usually just a scream like, yeah, and then he'll wake up, and I'm like, okay, he had a bad dream, or like a nightmare. At first I didn't know what that was, then people told me, yeah, babies have nightmares, blah, blah, and it used to scare me at first. I'm like, why is he yelling in his sleep? And like, I'd get so sad and emotional, want to hold him and sleep with him the whole night. And it's like, okay, he get nightmares, it's gonna happen, starting early. And I expected that to start happening like at 3-4 years old, when they come running to you and want to sleep in your bed, but apparently not. So he gets, sometimes he'll like do a little screech in his dream, and I'm like, okay, something scary, I guess. But the thing is, what I wonder is like, what can babies possibly have nightmares about? What, a bottle running away, or like, what, wanting to be breastfed when nobody's feeding them? Like, what are they really dreaming about that scares them in their sleep? And sometimes he smiles in his sleep, which is like so darn awesome. And like, when I just awesome, whatever. But you know what I mean. I love it when he does that. Like, it's just, it warms my heart. And then I'm like, what can he possibly be smiling about? And a friend of mine was like, oh, maybe he's smiling, maybe he's getting breastfed in a dream. And usually when I'm breastfeeding him, he'll smile sometimes. So I'm like, okay, maybe it's milk. Who knows? Nobody knows. But yeah, I wonder about stuff like that. To show you guys the milk that I'm feeding him. Give me 1 second. Okay, so here's the milk that I go with. I think it might look backwards for you guys, but it's called Sunrise. Sunrise milk-based infant formula is with iron and DHA and nutrients found naturally in mother's milk. So I didn't really know, and like if you can see down here, most of these things are like in a different language. I believe it's like Jewish stuff. I don't know if we can focus, but yeah. But I didn't know much about this milk. When it comes to babies, my mom had 6. My mom did great with us, with all of us actually. So every time I have a question or I'm concerned about something, I go straight to my mom, and she's the one who recommended this. I didn't want to feed him Infamil, so that's what I was concerned. I told my mom, like, look, I don't want to give him Infamil. There's a lot of chemicals and other like stuff that has to do with like the bad parts of animals and animal secretion that they put in that milk. Like, you'd be surprised what you're feeding your child with Infamil. And I've done a lot of research on this before I actually started feeding him. If you look at most of the ingredients, it's natural, like very natural, very good stuff. It helps with growth and development, brain and eyes, and it has calcium and vitamin D for growing bones. I knew that one of the things that his pediatric doctor said is that they don't get enough vitamin D through the breast milk, so he told me that I would have to give him some syrup, but I'm feeding him this during the day, so he gets enough vitamin D. And I try to give him at least, I don't give him no more than 3 bottles during the day of this, and then everything else is breastfed. I try not to give him too much because once I started giving him this, he did become constipated. So, and I know that with the breast milk, his bowels are like more loose with breast milk. So I'm like, I'm not gonna feed him too much formula. I'll give him like 3-4 bottles of these in the day during the day, and then I'll try to breastfeed him as much as possible. And once I started doing that, his bowel movements started to go back to normal and loosen up, and he wasn't constipated anymore. So yeah, so I really don't try to use this all day, but it is really good. It keeps him full for a long period of time, considering the fact that he eats every 30 minutes to an hour when he's only drinking breast milk. So this actually helps him, like, last for at least 2 to 3 hours. And for me to get a little break to do other stuff that I have to do around the house, whether it's sleeping, clean up the house, clean up the room, or whatever it is that I have to do, outside of him. But yeah, so this is what I do. Well, I would recommend this. I'm on my 2nd jar so far, and it only lasted me like about a week and a half. But yeah, this is what I do recommend for breast milk versus Infamil. Infamil we had with my nieces. We had to get her off of it because it was like a lot of bad side effects for her. She was throwing up. She couldn't keep it down. Then she started getting acid reflux and all that crap. So then they strictly breastfed her. With my other niece, same thing. It wouldn't stay down. So with her, they ended up switching her thing, I believe, to Similac, and that wasn't good either. So she ended up going with some organic-based milk product that we bought online for her instead. And that one worked with her very well. So I guess my family is more natural-based. I'm not sure what it is, but my mom is a naturalista. She does like natural with everything: food, hair, whether it's lotion, soap. Like, she tries to find products that are like as organic as possible. So yeah, so that's it with the milk. I hesitated with this for a while. I strictly breastfed him for about 3 weeks, almost a month, before I, finally decided, okay, you know what, I'm gonna start him on the formula. Because before I was like, I really wanted to breastfeed. I don't want to put him on formula. I don't want to do. But then with the breastfeeding, he doesn't seem like he's getting enough. Like, it seems like every time he's drinking, he's still hungry, and he'll fall asleep and wake up 30 minutes later and he's still hungry. So I want him to be sufficed. I want him to be full. I don't want him to be starving. And sometimes it makes me feel bad when I'm looking at him. I'm like, damn, you're still hungry, it makes me, question whether I have enough milk. Well, according to my lactation nurse, she was like, it has nothing to do with you. Some babies just feed very often, and then the breast milk goes through their system very fast, so then they have to eat more. And you'll know whether or not you have enough milk supply, because your body will tell you, like, when your boobs engorge and so forth. And if the baby doesn't like stop feeding on his own, then that means he isn't getting milk, or he'll cry or whatever. But he doesn't do any of that. He doesn't cry or whine. He usually eats and then goes to sleep. The only time he does cry when he's on the boob is like when it's coming out fast, because my milk comes out fast, or it squirts. So I guess when it does that in his mouth and he's like, he has to chug. So then he'll start crying a little bit because like then he needs to be pulled back, and I'll latch him off and then try to latch him back on. Another thing that was hard when it came to being responsible again is deciding on what's called shampoo and baby wash and lotion and stuff like that. And what I decided to go with those is the Burp Beats product. I'll make a whole video about the Burp Beats product in a whole separate video with along with what I use for him, as in like wipes, diapers, and stuff like that. I'll make that in a whole separate video about his hygiene products and what I decided to use and why I decided to use them and so forth. So those are other cons. The good things about having a baby is that you have a whole nother life that came from you, and it's like love at first sight. Sometimes it's love at first sight for some people, sometimes it's not for other people. And how I felt when he first came out is also something that I'm gonna discuss in another video once I start to completely understand what I'm feeling. But I'll make another separate video about how my feelings towards the baby and all that stuff after birth was. But it's like love at first sight for some people it's not. But for me, I really did, like, before he was even out, like, I loved Makai. And I guess that's because he got so much love, because with my first baby that I lost, I was iffy with it a little bit because he wasn't planned. So then, but like when I lost him, like I was devastated. So it's like, what, with Makai, I was like, I'm giving you all the love that I can. And it was like trying to make sure everything went right with him, definitely. Not that saying that I didn't do that with my first, but I did with both. But with him, I was just, a little bit more precautious when it came to like warning signs and stuff like that. Another good thing is, it's just, it helps with family as well, that I can say, like, me and Thomas, like, when it comes to Makai, it's like, it's so, I'm not sure how to explain it, but it draws us closer. Like, Makai brings us very close. Like, I love when I'm looking at him and, he's hugging and kissing him and showing him affection and holding him and, like, doing stuff with him, like, whether it's changing his diaper or just having him in his arm or sleeping with him. And it's like, damn, and I'm looking at him like, he's such a great dad. And and I'm like, damn, that's our son, like, we're a family, stuff like that. And I notice how sometimes he looks at me when I'm doing motherly duties with Makai as well. So it's like, it draws us closer as a family. So that's another great feeling when it comes to bring the child into the world. Of course, shopping. I love shopping for him. Clothes, shoes, bibs, bonnets, whatever it is, you name it. I love going out and looking for stuff for him and stuff like that. I love watching him grow, and I love looking at him and thinking every day, like, damn, like, I created you, like, you came from me, like, like, it's crazy. And I still can't believe it to this day. I still look at him and I'm like, damn, I gave birth to you. Like, if you knew me as a person, you'd be like, damn, Alex, I would not expect this from you. I would expect you to have a kid. I would even think you'd be able to bear children. Like, that's how much afraid of pain I am, and how much of a conservative person that I am. So it's like, a lot of people were shocked. A lot of people still don't know. A lot of people didn't know until I gave birth. And it's like, everybody was just like, what? Like, they couldn't, But then, my bad. Like I was saying, it's a lot of people didn't expect it, and it is what it is. But he's here, and he's welcomed, and he's loved, and he's blessed, and I wouldn't have it any other way. That's all I can think of for now. If I come up with anything else, I'll let you guys know in a different video. But don't forget to like and subscribe below. Of course, leave your comments and leave me feedbacks about other videos that you think that I should do, and I'd be more than happy to go ahead and cover those things for you in a different video. So again, stay posted. Peace.